We'll guide you through how to use GitHub. If you find this useful, then consider subscribing and liking the video. Now, Pausa is going to continue with the guide.
Now, the first thing that you should know is GitHub is a website where developers store, manage, and share their project. You can think of it as cloud storage designed especially for code. Instead of saving your project only on your computer, GitHub lets you keep an online copy that you can access from anywhere. To begin, simply just go ahead and open any browser to your liking. I'm using Google Chrome, and in the search bar, just go ahead and search for github.com and press enter. And now you will land directly inside of GitHub. Here, just go ahead and log in with your account if you have one, or if you don't have an account, just sign in and create an account. And after signing in, you will arrive on the home page. The home page is mainly a feed that shows updates from repository and developer that you have interacted with. If you are brand new to GitHub, it may look mostly empty, and that's completely normal. As you start creating project or following other repository, this page will gradually show more activity. Now let's take a look at your profile. Click on the profile picture at the top right corner, and then here just go ahead and select profile. Your profile is basically your public developer page. Other people can visit to learn more about you and see what you have been working on. On the left side, you will see your profile picture, a short bio, your website, social link, your company or location if you want. All of these are optional, so don't worry if you don't have anything to add yet. On the right side, you will see some of your public repository, and further down you will notice something called contribution graph. At first, this graph will probably be empty, and that's perfectly fine. Every time you create a repository, upload code, make commits, open issue, or contribute to project, GitHub records these activity over time, and your contribution graph will start filling up with green square that represent your activity on different days. Many beginners think that they need a full green graph immediately, but that's not true at all. This naturally grows as you continue using GitHub. Now let's talk about the most important concept in GitHub, and that's repository. You will hear people call it repository or simply a repo. A repository is a folder that contains everything related to one project. For example, imagine you are building a calculator application. Instead of scattering files across different folders on your computer, you would place everything inside one repository. That repository might contain your source code, image, configuration file, documentation, and anything else that your project needs. If you later build another application such as weather app, that will usually go into its own separate repository. So the easiest way to think about is this. One project usually equals one repository. You can create as many repositories as you want under GitHub account. To see your repository, just click on the repository at the top, and basically this page lists every repository that you have created. If you eventually have dozens or even hundreds of repository, you can use the search bar to find your repository quickly. Now let's create our first repository. Just go ahead and click on press new icon, and here you will land in this interface. You will first be asked to enter a repository name. So for example, if you are building a portfolio website, you could name it portfolio website or my portfolio. So I'm just gonna go ahead and type something like my portfolio. Now you will see description field. This is optional, but it's a good idea to briefly explain what your project does. So I'm just gonna leave it at default, but you can add any description. And here you will see option for visibility. Just click on the drop down and you will see two options. A public repository can be viewed by anyone on GitHub. This is the best option if you're creating open source project, following tutorials, or building a portfolio to showcase your work. A private repository, on the other hand, can only be accessed by you and anyone you especially invite. This is useful if you are working on something personal and don't want others to see the code yet. So I'm just gonna go ahead and go with the public, so you can leave every options at default for now and choose to create a repository. And now that our repository has been created, it's time to start adding files to it. Now, when you first create a repository, GitHub may show you several options for getting started. For example, you may see an option to upload an existing file or create a new file. Since we are focusing on learning GitHub itself, we will start by creating file directly inside the browser. So I'm just gonna go ahead and choose create a new file. Now at the top of the page, you will be asked to enter the file name. It can be any type of, this can be almost any type of file depending on what you are creating. For this example, if you are writing JavaScript, you can just name it something like app.js, or if you're creating a Python program, you could name it main.py. You could also create a simple text file like notes.txt or markdown files such as readme.md, which is commonly used to explain what a project does. So let's start by renaming your file. So let's say I want to go with a Python file. I'm just gonna go ahead and type server.py, and then here you can enter your file content. So I'm just gonna go ahead and write my code. After typing, you can just go ahead and click on commit changes, and here you can just leave everything at default, or you can also type commit message and then press commit changes. Now you will see it will be successfully added to your repository. If you want to add another file, you can just click on the drop down for add file and choose to create new file once again and name your file, which in my case it's going to be a requirement.txt file, and I'm just gonna go ahead and write my code. After that, just follow the same step of committing changes. After that, you will see two files inside of your repository, which is my portfolio for example. And now you can see we have successfully added two files, and there is also two commits. And now that you know how to create repository, add file, the next step is learning about branches. So basically branches are one of the features that make GitHub useful, especially when you are working on larger project or with other developer. To understand branches, imagine you are writing a school report. You already have the final version saved, but now you want to try adding new section. Instead of editing the original document and risking mistake, you make a copy first. You experiment with the copy, and if everything looks good, you replace the original with the updated version. This is essentially how branches work in GitHub. A branch is simply another version of your project where you can safely make changes without affecting the main version. Each repository starts with one branch. By default, it is called as main branch. This is usually the stable version of your project where your finished work are kept. Whenever you want to experiment, add a feature, or fix a bug, you can create another branch instead of editing the main branch directly. For example, imagine you are building a website. The version that's currently working stays on the main branch, and then you decide to redesign the homepage, right? Instead of making those changes directly on the main branch, you create a new branch called as homepage redesign. You make all the edits there, test everything, and once you are happy with the result, you merge those changes back into main branch. This keeps your main project safe while you are working. So let's see how you can create one. So near the top left of your repository, you will see the current branch name, which is usually main. Just click on it and choose the option to view or create branches. So I'm just gonna go ahead and select view all branches. And now here you will land in this interface. Now just go ahead and click on new branch. Then you will be asked to enter a new branch name. Try to choose a descriptive name that explains what you are working on. So let's say I want to type something like add a readme. After entering the name, make sure the new branch is created from the main branch. Then just go ahead and click on create new branch, and GitHub will now create your new branch. At this point, your repository has two separate branches. Although they currently look identical, they are completely independent. Any changes that you make in your new branch won't affect the main branch until you choose to merge them later. Now let's switch to the main branch. So just go to your repository once again and click on the drop down for your branches and choose the branch that we created earlier. And suppose we create a readme.md file or edit an existing one. So I'm just gonna go ahead and add a readme file. And here I'm just gonna enter file content like this is just for tutorial. After that, I'm just gonna go ahead and commit changes and click on commit changes. And now you can see in the readme branch a readme.md file has appeared. But let's switch back to our main branch. So here you will see the readme file is not here yet. This is because they are still stored only in your new branch. This is exactly what branches are designed to do. They let you work independently until you are ready to combine everything. So how do we combine them? This is where pull requests come in. A pull request is a GitHub way of asking to merge one branch with another. Think of it as saying, I have finished my work. Can these changes be added to the main project? If you are working with a team, other developer can review your work before approving them. If you are working alone, you will simply review your own changes and merge them yourself. After making the changes in the new branch, GitHub will usually display compare and pull request button. Just go ahead and click on it, and you will see a page comparing your new branch with the main branch. GitHub clearly shows which branch is being merged with which branch. You can even add your description. Just go ahead and click on create pull request. GitHub will now create a page where you can review your changes before merging. Take a moment to review everything and make sure the changes are correct. After that, you can click on merge pull request. Now GitHub will ask you for a confirmation to merge. You can just go ahead and write a commit message or extended description and then click on confirm merge. Once the merge is complete, all the changes from your branch becomes part of your main branch. So I'm just gonna go ahead and go to my repository, and you will see a readme file has successfully been added to our main branch. And now I will also show you how to add files from your device. So just go ahead and click on the drop down for add files and choose to upload files. Here just click on choose your files and navigate to the folder where you have your files that you want to upload. So in my case it's going to be here, and I'm just gonna go ahead and select this folder and then select all and choose to open. After that, click on commit changes. After that, just wait for it to upload. After that, just go ahead and click on commit changes. And now you will see it will also be successfully added. Before we finish, let's take a quick look at the row of options across the top of the repository, starting with code. This is where you will spend most of your time managing your project file and folders. So you have the option called as issue. Issues is used to track bugs, feature requests, or tasks that need to be completed. And the third option is going to be pull request. This is where changes from different branches are reviewed before being merged into the main project. And you have the option for action. Action let you automate tasks like testing or deploying your code whenever changes are made. And you also have the option for project. So when you click on it, it will help you organize your work using board and task list. And you also have option for wiki, which provides a space to create documentation for your project. And you have security and quality. This is where you can view security alert and manage feature that help keep your repository safe. Finally, you also have insight. Insight give you useful statistics and activity information about your repository, such as contribution. And you also have option for agent, which lets you configure and manage AI-powered assistant that can help you with development tasks such as answering questions about your code. These tabs become much more useful as your project grows, but it's good to know what each one is for from the start.